This is the story of a young man named Niki, an apprentice to a piano tuner named Harry. While they are tuning a piano at a customer's house, the woman offers them an extra $100 to fix her toilet. Harry tells her, "No, we don't fix toilets, we are piano tuners." Harry and Niki drive house to house in their van, tuning pianos. Niki always keeps earplugs in his ears. One day, in the middle of tuning a piano, Harry asks Niki to play. He tells him he has great hands, but Niki doesn't play. Niki goes to Harry's house for dinner, where Harry's wife Marla serves him his food without any salt. Harry can't hear clearly. Marla asks where his hearing aids are. Harry says they are in the safe. He had accidentally put his hearing aids in the safe instead of his watches, and now he can't remember the combination. He had changed it from his anniversary date and forgotten the new one. Niki takes a look at the safe. Marla tells him to smash it open, but the safe has 2 inches of steel, and it can't be smashed. So Niki lifts it up and carries it back to his own house. As they leave, Marla tells him Harry has a doctor's appointment the next day, so he will have to handle the work on his own. Back home, Niki starts watching videos on YouTube about how to open a safe. The videos explain that you can hear where the contact points are even when the safe is locked, and a skilled safe cracker can detect them using touch and hearing. The moment Niki pulls out his earplugs, every sound comes through sharp and loud. He starts listening for the gate and the tumblers to make the slightest contact with the fence. After trying for a long while, the sound finally reaches his ears, and within moments, he opens the safe. The next day, he goes to tune a piano at a music conservatory, but on the main stage, a girl named Ruthie is practicing on the piano. She had booked the main stage for this time slot in advance, so she isn't happy to see a tuner show up. Disappointed, she gathers her things and walks off. Niki tunes the piano, then goes and brings Ruthie back. She sits down and plays to test it. Niki tells her, "I made the melody section a little sweeter for you." Right then, he catches a slight flaw in the piano's E-flat. He takes 20 seconds to fix it. Ruthie asks him if he has perfect pitch. Niki says yes. She starts pressing different keys, asking him which ones she's playing. Niki answers every single one correctly. Ruthie tells him to close his eyes. Even with his eyes shut, Niki gets them right. He calls out multiple keys at once, naming each one with perfect accuracy. After that, Niki arrives at a wealthy client's house, where some security work is going on too. Niki says he won't be able to work with all this noise. The client's assistant asks if he can hang around until 8. After that, all these people will be gone. She even hands Niki some money to grab a meal nearby. After 8, Niki starts tuning the piano, but sounds begin coming from above him. A machine is running upstairs. Niki climbs up to look. The security men are drilling into a vault. Even with his ears covered, Niki can't stand the sound. Seeing him, the men shut the machine off. Niki says it's like you are robbing the place. Their head, a man named Yuri, says they are installing a new security system. They have to move everything out of this safe and into a new smart safe. Niki asks why the owner didn't just give them the combination. Yuri snaps back, "Why are you throwing accusations at us?" Niki backs off and minds his own business, asking how long they're going to be. Yuri says until this safe opens. So Niki puts his newly learned talent to use and sets to work cracking the safe. And he opens it. After that, while Niki is tuning the piano, Yuri walks over and hands him some money and his number. He tells him to call if he wants to make real money. The next day, while Harry and Niki are sitting in a cafe, Ruthie shows up too. Seeing that Ruthie and Niki already know each other, Harry tells Ruthie that Niki is very eligible, but he has a hearing condition. He hands Ruthie his snack. Ruthie is on her way to her class. Harry tells her that Niki was a child prodigy too, but he doesn't play anymore. Harry asks Niki to walk Ruthie to her class. Niki doesn't want to, but because of Harry, he has to go. The two of them talk a little. Niki praises Ruthie's piece from the day before, but along with the praise, he points out its flaws too. By the time Niki gets back to the cafe, Harry was being taken to the hospital. At the hospital, Marla asks Niki to sell their van because Harry hadn't been paying his insurance premiums since they wouldn't cover his hearing aids, and now they owe $36,000. Niki thinks it over and says, "Let me buy the van." He applies for loans in many places to pay for it, but because of his insufficient credit history, he can't get a loan anywhere. With no other choice left, he has to go to Yuri. Yuri takes him into his office, where these men throw parties every month. Yuri explains that they install and monitor security systems for the wealthiest homes. Yuri knows when his clients are home and when they aren't, and they need a reliable lock guy. Niki asks, "So your clients don't notice when their things go missing?" Yuri says if they stole noticeable things, the clients would notice, but they won't notice one watch and one simple ring. And even if they do, they'll fire the cleaning lady and file an insurance claim. Yuri says he knows where the doors are, and Niki knows how to open those doors. He asks Niki to open a safe within 10 minutes. Niki uses his hearing condition and his skill to crack the safe with 55 seconds to spare. Yuri says, I have a job for you this Saturday. So Niki takes an advance from him and gives Marla the down payment for the van. Then one day, Niki gets a call from Ruthie. A pipe burst in her apartment and water completely soaked her piano. She asks if he can come right now. Niki was an hour away. He drives over and reaches her. This piano belonged to Ruthie's grandmother. She only got 2 things from her grandmother. One was a watch she lost on a train. And now she may have ruined the piano too. But Niki tells her no, the piano will be fine. Now, Niki normally charges wealthy clients $5,000 for this work. But he tells Ruthie it's on the house. Because most of the pianos he tunes are just decorative, whereas this one matters. Ruthie says, can I make you $5,000 worth of pasta? The two of them sit together and eat pasta. Niki asks Ruthie about her plans after graduation. Ruthie wants to become the apprentice of a composer named Meissner. He takes 1 student from Ruthie's program every year, and she wishes to be the one this year. They talk about Niki's condition here. He has hyperacusis. He is allergic to loud noises. Everything sounds loud to him. He had years of exposure therapy, after which he became able to hear soft, focused sounds like a piano. But he still doesn't want to play anymore. And just then he gets a call from Yuri. Niki leaves. He'll come back the next day to reassemble the piano. Niki goes into a wealthy home with Yuri's team. Yuri tells him to open the safe, but Niki was a bit reluctant. Yuri says, do you know how this rich man bought this house? He started a lending firm and offered subprime loans to minority communities with predatory terms, where hundreds of thousands would end up on the street if they missed just 2 payments. After that, Yuri flatly tells Niki to return his advance if he isn't going to open the safe. So Niki opens the safe. With the money he made, he paid off a small part of Harry's due amount. After that, Niki fixes Ruthie's piano too. Ruthie plays the first thing she ever wrote, and Niki watches her. The two of them grow close and lean in to kiss when Niki catches the smell of smoke. A smoke alarm starts going off there. Ruthie runs over and shuts the alarm off. She had left the oven on, but the sound of the alarm hurt Niki badly. His ears started ringing. Ruthie keeps saying sorry over and over. After a while, Niki recovers, and they both kiss. After that, over many days, Niki tunes pianos, spends time with Ruthie, and opens safes for Yuri to pay Harry's bills. Everything was running perfectly smoothly. During all this, Niki's eyes fall on a women's watch inside a safe. After that, Ruthie gets busy practicing for her performance. But the ending isn't sounding right yet. Because of this, Ruthie is sitting there full of tension. Niki suggests she add a piano or a keyboard, which was a pretty good idea. Niki tells her, you need to take a break. You've been practicing since morning. Then he gives her that same watch. Seeing a Rolex watch, Ruthie is left speechless. Niki says, I got it at an estate sale. It reminded me of your grandma's watch. But Ruthie can't accept the watch because they've only been dating for a month, and it's too much. She doesn't know what this is between them. He says, I know, you're my girlfriend. So Ruthie kisses him. After that, Niki takes Ruthie to see Harry at the hospital. But Harry starts telling Niki, your dad was here this afternoon, even though Niki's father died many years ago. Harry was imagining things. He says, your dad was telling me how you started playing the piano at the age of 7. Harry doesn't want to stay in the hospital anymore. He doesn't like it here. So Ruthie gets an idea. The two of them bring the piano sitting in the hospital into Harry's room. Ruthie plays for Harry. Then Marla asks Niki about the hospital bill, which is all paid. Marla asks where he got the money. She tells Niki, I don't want you to do anything stupid. We will be fine. But that very day, Yuri calls Niki to a place that wasn't a wealthy home. Airplanes are passing by very close overhead. There were 2 other men here besides Yuri's team. They were the ones who gave Yuri this safe to open. But there were a lot of guns, drugs, and cash lying here, and seeing all of it scared Niki. He starts opening the safe, but the passing airplanes caused him a great deal of pain. So Yuri's nephew Benny goes outside and starts notifying them about incoming airplanes in advance, so Niki can cover his ears. After a long, hard effort, Niki opens the safe. Inside the safe was a diary. Finding it, these men were thrilled. But just then, the uncle of these men walks in and points a gun at everyone. He tells everyone to drop their phones into the fish tank. He has the diary tossed over, then tells Niki to pick up one of its pages and tear it out. After tearing it, he makes Niki chew and swallow that page. But just then, a bullet hits this man. Niki's ears start ringing. This bullet had come from outside, fired by Benny. Niki runs from there. But he had memorized the code of a crypto wallet written on that page. He gains access to the wallet, which has more than $18 million worth of Bitcoin in it. Niki was lost in thought. And one morning, he gets a call from Marla at the hospital. Marla was crying. Niki rushes to the hospital. Harry was no more. Harry's funeral is held, where Ruthie played the piano. But then Yuri shows up at the funeral too. Niki asks him what he's doing here. You need to leave. Yuri apologizes to him for that night and tells him there's a hardware wallet for the crypto account whose code he swallowed. But it's inside a safe that Niki will have to open. Niki flatly refuses. So Yuri scares Niki by bringing up Ruthie's name and tells him, show up tomorrow. After that, Niki's next few days pass in full sadness. One night he goes outside Yuri's office, but turns back from there and returns to Ruthie. Ruthie was nervous too, about whether Meissner would respond to her piece the next day or not. But Niki's mind was already in a bad place. He tells Niki, don't be scared, and besides, look at what Meissner has done lately. Niki says, but I love Meissner, and why can't you say something nice? Ruthie says, you don't get what it's like to be working towards something your entire life. You're just a piano tuner. So Niki says, imagine you wake up tomorrow and you can't play music. Or you're nothing. But every single day I am working toward just being okay. It's a miracle that I can be near a piano. My life was supposed to be your life. And I was a better piano player than you will ever be. Ruthie says, then play me something. But Niki leaves. And right then, Yuri shows up in the parking lot. He blows an air horn in front of Niki. Niki passes out from the pain. He comes to inside a bathtub. His ears were still ringing. Ruthie is calling him because her performance was today. Yuri tells Niki to open the safe. Niki says, I can't, my ears are ringing. But Yuri won't hear any of it. Meanwhile, Marla was sitting in the audience too, waiting for Niki. Ruthie spots Meissner sitting in the audience. Her performance begins. She starts playing and Niki, with his hearing slowly returning, begins opening the safe too. Niki opens the safe. From there he runs straight toward Ruthie. Yuri gets access to the wallet. Meanwhile, Meissner was quite impressed by Ruthie's performance. But the performance ended and Niki still hadn't arrived. Ruthie meets Meissner, where Meissner tells her he has been commissioned to compose a new piece to premiere at the Sydney Opera House next winter, and he needs an assistant. He offers Ruthie this job. But right then, Meissner's eyes fall on her watch. He asks, where did you get this timepiece? Ruthie says, my boyfriend gifted me. So Meissner looks at the watch and explains that 4 weeks ago some things went missing from his safe, and among them were his grandparents' 2 watches, which they had exchanged on their wedding day. He says, I would very much like to know how the piano tuner acquired this watch. By then Niki had arrived. Ruthie asks him where he got this watch. This is a stolen watch. Niki says, I didn't know. Ruthie asks, where did you get it? Niki says, I can explain the whole thing, I messed up. So Ruthie walks out. Niki tells Meissner the whole story. Meissner is no longer comfortable making Ruthie his assistant now. They were just about to call the police and tell them everything, when Niki says, you said there's a second watch, what if I can get it back? Meissner agrees. Niki leaves. He sends Marla a voicemail saying, I have left you something in the piano. It was a lot of money. Niki goes to Yuri's office himself, where a party was going on. He covers his ears and moves forward through the party. He opens one of Yuri's safes and searches for the watch inside it. But from behind, Yuri's man Yoni grabs him. He takes him out of the party. Yuri says, I thought you were my brother, and you came to steal from me. So Niki, seeing the watch in his hand, asks him for it. So Yuri beats him. He asks Benny for the air horn. But just then Benny's dog shows up. Niki says, the guy we stole from doesn't want any trouble. It's his grandfather's Holocaust watch. Now, stealing a Holocaust watch was considered wrong in Yuri's culture. They tell Yuri to give the watch back. But Yuri brings the air horn close to Niki's ears and blows it. It slices Niki's earlobe. After that, Niki wakes up straight in a hospital. His eardrums have been ruptured. Despite being told not to, he gets up and goes to the mirror, then removes the bandage wrapped around his head. The doctor had stitched his sliced earlobe. He is given his belongings, and among them is the watch too. After that, Niki reaches Meissner to return it, but he can't hear any sound coming from the door. He can hear very little. Meissner meets him, and Niki returns the watch. Meissner says, we had a tuner last week, but he didn't do the job right. And just then Ruthie arrives. Meissner leaves them alone there and steps off to the side. Niki can't hear Ruthie from a distance. He only says just got into some trouble. So Niki starts playing this piano. And Ruthie just stands there watching his performance. It was tremendous, just like Harry had always said. Watching him play like this, Ruthie's eyes fill with tears. At the end, Niki says the E flat is out. And with that, friends, this story ends right here. Let us know in the comments how you like the explanation, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video.